Hi, my name is Flavia. I hope you're having a nice day so far. This is my project as a children's book. It's called Partiti-Party because it involves a Partitivirus, or Partiti-like virus, and party because I like alliteration. So yeah, hopefully you hear a rhyme. Teeth and leaves are quite apart. This is referencing the fact that when I first looked into where this virus was showing up, in the SRA runs, all the samples were taken from humans, and Partitiviruses usually infect plants, fungi, and protozoa, so this was a little odd, and one of the samples actually came from dental scrapings, which is why teeth are mentioned. And then when I summarized and color coordinated the metadata, this is a poor rendition of the table I made, it seemed as if the virus is showing up in the microbe-heavy environments of the body, so around the oral cavity and the gut, which is specifically referred to as the microbiota, I think, and it was showing up on mucosal surfaces and in areas where there's mucose secretions. So that was sort of the first conclusion, which was pretty cool to see. But a Partitivirus, or Partiti-like virus, might be a start. This goes back to the very beginning when I was given my palmID and I put it through BLASTp, so that small RdRp segment showed that there was the most relation to Partitiviruses, unclassified ones, and this is a sort of summary of what I saw on BLASTp. But it did seem to be pretty diverged because identity was quite low. But yeah. But who with, what is the pair? This is referencing the sort of two main takeaways, or what I wanted to show with this project. The first being the genomic structure. Partitiviruses usually have two separate segments that are encapsulated separately too. And the first codes for the RdRp, so it allows this virus to replicate, and then the second for the coat protein, which protects it. And so I was given a small segment of the RdRp, and using assemblies and also some Frankensteining with RNA spades and meta, I found a longer sequence which did fit in the criteria of sequence sort of length for this segment of Partitiviruses. But unfortunately, the ORF I had that would encode for this RdRp extended past the sequence I had. So maybe there's a mutation and a stop codon, disappeared. That doesn't seem to be the case, but yeah. And in regards to the coat protein, I found a very small segment of a coat protein that seemed to be Partitivirus related. Unfortunately, it only showed up in one run. It didn't show up in any others, and there wasn't enough to sort of make a longer segment, but it was really cool to find even just that piece, so that was really nice. And the second thing is referring to sort of the tropism of the virus. So plants I didn't focus too much on. I did consider bacteria actually for a bit because there was a paper that suggested that some Partitiviruses might be able to infect bacteria. And in the samples, a virus that kept showing up was Picoburnividae, which has very similar structure to Partitiviruses and is known to infect bacteria, although it's not well researched. This didn't yield a whole lot. I looked briefly into whether or not there were Scheindel-Garna motifs in my segment, but nothing really conclusive could be said. I lean towards no the most. But yeah, it turns out Picoburnividae might also infect fungi too, so yeah, I couldn't make any solid conclusions to that, but I do lean the most towards fungi and protozoa. Fungi are plants who's to say when sequencing data is at play. That's me, that's a coat to refer to the coat protein I didn't find. It just seemed to be a limitation of the data at one point. Maybe there was more I could have done, but I was glad I found something regardless. Teeth and cheeks are where it hides ever since being cast aside. Again, referencing the fact that it seems to be a pretty diverged virus, so as the project kept going on, it just seemed more and more diverged from the Partitivirus family. Unclassified and incomplete this virus side. This refers to sort of the outcome of the project for me, so that one segment that has an ORF that extends past the sequence, and then this small bit of coat protein. While this random student tried to find some sort of sense to its nucleotides. So I hope you have a lovely day while I try not to submit late. Thank you.